So growing up, I'm the youngest of four boys. I'm like 6 years younger than my next oldest brother. And they tormented me because, hey, that's what siblings do. But, you know, you eventually grow up, and one of my brothers becomes this stand-up comedian in the comedy clubs in New York and Los Angeles. And his best friend is Larry David, and I'm hanging around with him because by now I'm in college. And what could be more fun for a college student than hanging around at a comedy club and watching comics all night? And I started to absorb the stuff that these guys were saying. And I start thinking, hey, I want to do this. Now, this is at the same time when Saturday Night Live was first coming on the air, and we had Second City TV and the National Lampoon Radio Hour and Lemmings, the show that the National Lampoon put on across the country. And I was influenced by all of that, and I started doing that kind of stuff on college radio, you know, sketch comedy. And then when I got out of college, I thought, well, I can get a real job, or I could try this comedy thing for a year and see what happens. So I moved out to LA, and pretty soon I start getting television writing gigs. It starts on a game show, but then I'm working on a show called Fridays, which was an SNL knockoff, and I'm writing sketches for Larry David, again, who I knew as from my childhood, and Michael Richards. Then, you know, that show ends, and I start getting other jobs and other comedy shows with Howie Mandel. God, Steve Martin. I did a special with Steve Martin, and pretty soon I get hired on Saturday Night Live, and now I'm writing for Eddie Murphy and Marty Short and Billy Crystal and Christopher Guest and Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Jim Belushi, and it's wild. I mean, I can tell you these stories about the things that Eddie Murphy would or wouldn't do on the air that the writer of the sketch had to deal with, and I wrote all these sketches for Eddie Murphy. Yeah, I really wrote these. I lived this life, and I also worked with Boy Meets World and the kids there, and Night Court. I worked with all those people and wrote for them, and God, so many other shows. So I wrote a book about it because I figured it's kind of an interesting life to go from this awkward little baby brother to being like a major television writer for hit shows. And I wrote this book about my life, and I think you'll find it funny. I tell a lot of funny stories in it. I talk about all those people. I tell some inside gossip. It's about one person's life and what it's like writing for big time, big deal TV shows. So buy the book, read the book, make me famous. I'd like that. But no, seriously, it's a good read. I think you'll like it. Okay, thanks.